Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper. And I'm here today to talk to you about transitions, vacations, and just general life. I've done a lot of videos on working memory. People with ADHD struggle with working memory. One of the concepts buried in several of the videos that I've done and a lot of the radio shows that I talk about is the concept of booting up. When you turn your computer on, the operating system's got to boot up so that it comes up and the tools for your printer and everything so you can begin to work. On a normal PC, this takes a little bit of time. When you sit down and you're going to do a task, there's a little period of time where you've got to boot up your mind with all those ideas. That's not a particularly fun time. There's no dopamine for it. It's really kind of effortful and it's hard. Often people say, I'm having a hard time getting started. That's what the part is you're booting up your working memory to get into it. Once you're into the flow, you're good, but that's a very effortful thing. So an observation that I've had over the years, I'll never forget, I was dating somebody in my formative years in Manhattan, and one day, it was a Friday, and we were headed out of the city to their apartment. And on the PATH train, there was talk. And I was becoming kind of concerned, do we have anything in common? Because it was just work related. Over the weekend, I noticed that talk had gone away. It was really processing the end of the week. But then the talk started again on Sunday night. And I began to realize the person was kind of thinking out loud and kind of booting up, getting their mind in and organized around that particular week. It was a real interesting moment, that observation, because I began to realize that's part of the transition, and people with ADHD really struggle with this, is that to finish processing the week at the end on Friday and to begin to prepare on Sunday. Now, that being said, I remember growing up, and you don't have to have ADHD for this, is that my father, we were always, when we were ever on trip, we always had to leave early on Friday morning, and as I got older, I found myself doing the same thing, and most people would say, well, I was conditioned into that. Well, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, but from my perspective, what I began to realize is I needed to get back so I could unpack and put everything away and then boot my mind up for the rest of the week. If I came in late, I'd have all this stuff that I would forget about that I'd have to put away. It would take all week to put that away, which is a lot of visual clutter, and I would show up on Monday morning and not know where I am, not even know what my profession was. So it's kind of funny because I began to watch my behavior. It was very efficient for me to get home early on Sunday so that I could get my mind into the routine and get going. Sometimes that was, I was caught with a little bit of flack. Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And I didn't really realize what it was, but I was pretty adamant. Was I controlling? Well, maybe I was a little controlling, but I was also productive at the same time. What's the point of this video? The point really is to give you some insight and a specific example that you might be able to relate to yourself to understand transitions and actually understand the week. For many of you, you'll come home from work or a long day at school and you walk into some others and you're kind of disheveled for a second. It's because you need a little bit of time to process the week. Or on Sunday, you might need to be able to sit down and kind of get ready for the week. A lot of times people with ADHD don't plan that time, but if you gain some insight that's required, it can bring a lot of calm and reduce a lot of anxiety in your world just to realize that's what's going on. So I hope this gave you a little bit of insight in the process so that you can begin to manage your ADHD. Please subscribe to our channel, leave a comment. Always interested in your thoughts on this. It spurs lots of good conversation and helps me come up with other ideas for future editions of Attention Talk Video. I hope you've enjoyed this. Take care.